Welcome to episode 4 of Rags to Riches. Today we've got a special guest. We've got Milo. Milo's come all the way from Manchester. He's just sold Manchester United Football Club, so he's got a load of money.
I wish.
And he sacked Ronaldo. Now, Milo owns CrepCheifNotify. Is that the right? I'm saying it the right way. Yeah. Take it. Crepes is like shoes. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's how it originally started, like with sneakers and stuff.
Yeah. If you're not familiar with that, we'll make sure we put all the links in the description. But right, let's just get on with it. So, tell us a little bit about where you are now before we go back to where it started.
Yeah, so now I'm basically running two companies one is called CrepCheifNotify, which has been around for about 3 years. Basically teaches people like how to make money online from like reselling like limited edition items, like really hard to get items, so things like PS5s, like air fryers, like the air fryers are really, really big at the moment, like they're just sold out everywhere. Mm-hmm. And when an item sells out, as long as the supply is way below the available demand, there's a profit to be made in between for people who can actually get them items. So what we basically do is teach people how to buy these items. Mm-hmm. We tell you when these items are back in stock through like software and stuff like that. Basically sends a notification out to like our app on like the App Store. You basically use the notification, go buy the item. Once the item arrives at your house, sell it on eBay. So I'll basically run a platform teaching people how to do that.
So you teach people to buy it cheap and sell at the normal retail price, or buy it and sell it?
Buy it at the retail price and sell it at the inflated price, because these products are sold out everywhere. It's like with PS5. PS5s have been reselling for 2 years. They still resell to this day for like £100 to £150 profit, depending which one you get. And this is just because Sony can't meet the demand for PlayStation. So because they're sold out everywhere, people are happy to pay a premium to just get their hands on the item. They don't want to wait anymore. They just want to get it like tomorrow. They just want to buy it on eBay and it comes like in the next couple of days and they've got the item. And that's basically what we do, is we teach you how to buy them. They're really hard to get items and sell them on eBay and like make a profit from it.
Do you get any hate? People saying, why are you inflating the price?
Yeah. So when around the time of PS5s, we got it incredibly bad. So basically what happened was, one of our old managers at CrepCheifNotify, Business Insider reached out to us to do an article about like the whole PS5 demand and stuff like that, because basically we was posting all over our socials and stuff like that, saying that, you know, we've just like, our members have secured like 5,000 PS5s, we're making like £400 profit of each one we sell. Like
£400 profit?
Yeah, so at the start he was going for like £1,000, so you can make like £500 profit on each one at the start. It was insane. And the weirdest thing was, right up until like the week before the release, you could just pre-order them. But no one pre-ordered them, and then we was like pre-ordering them in the group and stuff, and then basically come to the release day, it was just an absolute shit show. There was like none available. Everyone was paying resale. People were selling them for like £1,000. Yeah. So basically, Business Insider reached out. We did this article. It's explaining how we was getting them, how we was helping people get them, how we was like helping them sell them on, and then basically Business Insider like wrote this article, like portrayed us as like what they call scalpers. And then from the back of this Business Insider article, every other like news outlet started making articles saying the same things, like linking us in there.
Aren't you the same as fucking 28-day matured beef?
Yeah.
Like it's more rare. It takes like you're gonna pay more.
Yeah.
If there's less of something, isn't it? You've got to pay more. Isn't that how
100%
supermarkets work?
But they was kind of blaming us for buying them up with the purpose of like selling them on for a profit, but which would have happened anyway. It happened.
Yeah, but isn't that what happens? Look at the car industry. Like, you know how people sell cars for overs?
Yeah.
And it's all about allocation.
100%.
Dealerships get a certain amount of allocation, and they're like, we want more allocation so we can sell them.
Yeah.
And then their customers flip them, don't they?
Yeah, so
it's the same shit.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing, but basically these articles like portrayed it as like scalpers. So people was like, our Trustpilot got like crunched. We had a really good Trustpilot.
How old were you then?
2 years ago. I'd have been 19.
Fuck me, you're only 21 now?
Yeah, I'm only 21 now. So I'd have been 19. Obviously, my business partners are 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
But anyway, we was getting all this hate. Like, people was like messaging the Instagram, messaging the Facebook page all day, saying like, you should die. We're sending people around to your houses. People was making like Reddit posts, like leaking like our addresses from like company's house and stuff. Like, it was crazy. And then all these articles just kept popping up. We just kept getting hammered with like our Trustpilot got like obliterated with people.
Did it make you want to quit?
No, not really, because it just got us so many members, because it put so many eyes on us, and no doubt people would have read them articles and been like, "Phew, £500 a go. I fancy making £500 a go," and then it just.
And what were you? How much was it for people to pay to get this information?
£30 a month. So it was literally like, until this day, I think that it's too cheap, but it's one of them. The industry is priced around that range, so it's not like we could put it up. But
and you were saying a minute ago about you did a thing for £1 and everybody, and it was the worst thing you ever did.
Yeah, literally worst.
We do a thing for £1. Don't fucking cancel on us like a prick. Yeah,
yeah, but that was chaos.
So people were just like signing up, having a look around, and then just
with the pound thing.
Yeah,
with the pound thing. Basically, people was just like, so people would just sign up, join, open a ticket, say like, how do I do this? Like, they wouldn't bother reading any of the information in the platform. They would just sign up.
Do you think these people were just looking for a quick buck?
I don't even know. I think the worst thing was it was no one at that point. So once we turned the pound on, the pound sign up, there was nobody willing to sign up for £30 because everyone was getting it for £1, and we like posted it everywhere.
Yeah, but then they were having to pay 30 the next month.
Yeah, but
and then obviously products change from month to month.
Yeah, but everyone just cancelled. Like, people just what I suspect is, so when you start a side hustle or something like that, it's like going to the gym.
Yeah.
You know, you go and you don't get an instant return. You don't just go 1 week and you've just instantly got like massive.
I try and tell people it's not a overnight thing.
100%. So because people have to put in time and effort and learn how it all works, I think people joined up, and the platform operates off Discord, and Discord, for anyone who's like not used it or anyone who has used it and used it for the first time.
Is that been around a while then? Because Discord I thought was like a new thing.
I think it's a new thing for businesses, but it's been around for a long time. We did used to use Slack before that, but Discord's way better than Slack. But anyway, these people signed up, and what I think was they couldn't. The platform is overfacing at first. There's tons of like channels and stuff, so I think they just joined, seen like this information overload, and just thought, bun that off, closed and done. So whereas if someone who signs up paying £30, they've expended their £30. So they're more willing to give it a go because they've given you £30. They're not just going to give up after. They're not just going to go, oh yeah, I'm losing £30. They're just going to be like, I'm at least going to give it some attempt. Yeah. And so that makes, people work harder on it and actually get to use it. And once, you make your first sale, and your first sale is pretty much always going to cover your membership cost. So you just need to make one sale and get that early win.
How many members you got now?
About 2,500 at the moment.
2,500. Like these people are making money, or majority of them are?
Yeah, right now is the most profitable it's been all year round.
So what's the hot thing to sell now?
Air fryers.
Air
fryers.
My missus has been banging on about a frigging air fryer. I'm like, you can't even cook. What do you want an air fryer for?
But so this is why. But
she's going to watch this and be like, you dickhead.
But that's why they're so good, because not only are they're like up to 80% more energy efficient than a normal oven. So because of the cost
I read a thing saying that the lining inside is going to give you like toe cancer or some shit.
It might do, but I think people that does sound a bit out there. But
not toe cancer. Yeah. No, I did read an article saying that you've got to be careful which one you buy because they put like a non-stick lining on the inside. Yeah. Some of the real cheap shit ones, the stuff that they put on the inside is like hazardous or something. We're all going to have like 5 years.
It might be. So
you don't sell those ones, obviously.
Well, yeah, it could be. But we sell like the so it's only specific ones that
are in demand.
Yeah, like specific branded ones. So I imagine that is playing into the factor of it. People are reading all this stuff online because they're everywhere. They're all over TikTok, all over social media, all over the news.
Yeah, I see it on TikTok when I have a bit of a TikTok toilet session. Yeah, that's all you use TikTok for. Yeah, you see people their air fryer recipes. I've seen some mad stuff, and you like. To be fair, I can see why people want to buy them.
100%. So that's what I think it is. I think the fact that they're more energy efficient, the fact that and like you said, your missus can't cook, but with an air fryer, anyone can cook. It makes cooking way easier. Yeah. So like, I think that's what's like caused this crazy demand, and they can't keep up with it, and it just caused like. They've been reselling for like 3 months now, and you can expect like anywhere from like £50 to £60 to like £120 profit per one you buy, and they cost like £100 to like £230 to buy. So you're making like really good returns on it, and they make the best kind of products, and it comes back to like what's so good about PS5s, because an item that is still got tons of supply, but the demand still completely outweighs it. Yeah. They make for the best products because for us resellers, they're incredibly easy to get. Yeah. Because there are so many still going round, but so many more people want them that like it's easy for us to get loads of them. Like I did a 24-hour challenge yesterday of like I was going to buy everything on the CrepCheifNotify app for 24 hours. Yeah.
That would be quite cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I bought 4 items, and these items were in stock for like 5 to 10 minutes at a time. And from like I've obviously not sold them yet because they're not arrived at my house. But when I do sell them, I'm expecting like £400 profit from me buying them items literally in a day's work. And like
And then just whacking them on like eBay or
Yeah,
Amazon.
just whack them on eBay, Facebook. You can put them on Amazon, but Amazon's a bit of a different. Amazon's more complicated, for a lot of people.
How much money would you need to do this? Like if I said, right, I've got 30 quid to sign up and I've got £200, have I got a chance?
Yeah, but you would be slightly limited. I think the best starting amount is like £500 because you've got.
To be fair, anyone in this day and age can get £500.
Yeah, 100%.
If you even if you haven't got £500, you've got to have 5 family members that are going to give you 100 quid if they believe in you.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I suppose if you believe in yourself.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the most important factors to like anyone's success is just like believing in yourself. Anyone can go out there, anyone can do it, but you need about like £500, £300 to £500 in between that range because like the most expensive air fryer we resell at the moment is like £230. So if you want to buy one of them, you're looking at like you need £230 to buy it, and it can't be your last money. This needs to be like disposable income. You can't be like you need to pay your rent next month. Like this needs to be like disposable income.
Yeah, because you could sit on these things until they sell.
Yeah, so you need to sit on them for they sell really fast. Like these are selling like hundreds of times a day on eBay. So they do sell really fast. And there's actually one thing that makes reselling like possibly one of the best beginner side hustles you can possibly start at is because when I go buy an item from Amazon or Very or John Lewis or wherever it may be, there is a returns policy with this item. So if I don't sell my item within 30 days, most of the time, so not everyone offers free returns. Sometimes you might have to pay to post your item back, so it might cost you like £10 to post it back or whatever.
So you can get your money back?
Yeah, so you buy the item, you've got 30 days to sell it. If you don't sell it in 30 days, you just send it back, get your money back. It's actually like semi-foolproof. Like the returns policy just is like the cherry on top for I think the whole thing because it's just so easy. And these items that we are reselling, these air fryers, it was a bit different when sneakers were like the biggest thing because sneakers. Like limited edition.
Is that how it started with sneakers?
Yeah, so that's how I got into reselling back in the day was like through sneakers and stuff like that.
That's what it's called, Crep.
Yeah. And when we started CrepCheif, it was still very focused around sneakers, and it was only until COVID hit, and COVID again was like a symphony of cash. Like it was another ridiculous time. In COVID, we was reselling like Lazy Spa hot tubs, if you know what they are.
Yeah.
That was the most ridiculous time of it all because you would buy these Lazy Spa hot tubs. Don't get me wrong, they are massive, but like you would buy them and they come in like a big box, and you could some of them, like the really high end ones, you can make £1,000 profit on each one, and like just like selling them. And it was because everyone was at home in the gardens, they couldn't go out.
How much were they to buy?
So the most expensive ones, like the ones that you can make £1,000 profit on, were like £1,000, but they would resell for like £2,000.
Yeah.
But then there was ones which are like £300, and they would resell for like £500, £600. So there was just pure things to get involved with. There was like gym weights, like so we was just literally clearing out.
Yeah, gym weight. I remember trying to look for weights during COVID,
and that was why.
I was like, right, I'm gonna get fit, and I couldn't find any.
Yeah, literally.
They were like, it was like grand for a dumbbell. I was like, what?
Yeah, literally. And so that's what I mean. So it was when COVID came around that all these like new items started popping up, even like wall hair clippers, because no one can go to the barber.
Yeah, I cut my own hair during COVID. It's crazy.
So everyone was going buying these like hair clippers and stuff, and they was reselling for like £40-50 profit. It was just insane. I've never seen anything like it, and that's what like really kicked it all off for us at like CCN. And not only that, people were so much more inclined to start a side hustle because they was all at home doing nothing, and it was just like ridiculous. So for example, for us to sign up a member to CCN with Facebook ads in like the height of COVID, it cost us £1.
Really?
£1 CPA. It was like nothing we've ever seen before. It was just like we were just gaining member. It was like a ridiculous.
So that was like it was going when it all started, and you started doing this, and you got all the hate. You must have had some times where you were like, fuck.
Yeah. So at the start, to like cut along, like to
there's no point me asking your background before that because you was at school.
Yeah, but I was actually doing things as soon as I left high school. I started like coding and stuff like that. But before that, so before CCM that became what it is today, it was so in the space of like reselling. The business model that CCN has been around for like years, and that's how I started reselling. But the thing was, they was closed. So it was like this mad like hype thing. Everyone had like lost their minds. And then one day when we had like our idea that dawned upon us, every single group was like closed. So you couldn't join. No one from the public could join, and no one was like teaching people who had never resold before how to resell. They was all just focused on like getting people who was already in the reselling space into their closed little groups, making like the membership to the group resell. It was like this mad ecosystem. They was like trying to make the memberships resell for like so you would pay like 200 quid to get chance to pay £30 a month to join a group.
That's nuts.
So everyone was fixated on this, and then we came around and we basically met TGE, and we'd had the idea a little bit before this. We was like, well, why don't we just kind of start like teaching people who've never resold before how to resell? And then TGE came around, and you know, we basically said the other lads went for like a meeting with TGE.
That's the other YouTube guy who put us in contact with you.
Yeah. And they basically had a meeting with him, and he was like, so how many people do you like could we like actually facilitate for? And he was like 2,500.
Yeah.
And then the other lads were like, we could do, but that's never happened before. It's unheard of. No one's ever done this. Yeah. And TG was like, don't worry, like a couple months, we'll do this. We'll have 2,500 members. And then it was just like that. We like, I remember like we all got back and we was like thinking like, no way, like imagine if we had like 2,500 members, like what the business.
How many did you have at the time?
So at that point, probably like 300 something, maybe like 200, 300.
Even 300 people paying you 30 quid a month, it's not bad.
It was going well, and I'd actually ran this exact same business model like 2 times before. Again, like at the start of your business journey, you are so stupid, it's unbelievable. Like one time we paid this guy called Blake Linder, like on an original version of CCN, and it was called Hyped Restocks.
Yeah.
And we paid this guy called Blake Linder like £1,000 to do a story promotion.
Who's that person?
He's just like some American YouTube reseller guy. Anyway, we paid him like £1,000, and he did a promotion, and the group had no members, and from his promotion it signed up 80 people paying £30 a month. But for whatever reason, we was just like, oh, that didn't work. But it did work.
Of course it worked.
Yeah, it worked. Charm. It works an absolute charm. It was paying. Like the return on the investment from that promotion was like, it was quality.
Yeah.
But for some reason, we were just like, it's not working. And then, so we just fobbed it off, and then we just carried on doing what we was doing, and then eventually CCN came around, and, you know, we did it properly that time.
Yeah.
But it's been a bit of a wild road, to be honest.
Yeah. So what's the future for it then? So, like, there's going to be... I mean, I reckon they're probably going to legalise things like weed, and then there's going to be like people buying like special flavours or whatever.
Yeah.
Like for overs, would you ever do shit like that if it was?
Yeah, but so we do a lot of that limited.
Weed Chief Notify. Yeah.
I don't know how that go down for the branding side of things, but
if it's legal, it's legal.
Yeah, so we do like a lot of like limited edition items. So in that case, I imagine the kind of things that would like resell in terms of weed would be like.
What about art?
Art, so the thing is with art, so we do like personally resell art, but the thing is with art, it's very, very niche. So the problem, so when CCN started to grow, a new problem started to arise. Now that we have so many people, the market is a bit, you know, it's like, it's a bit, sometimes it can be rocky. If the demand doesn't hold up, the market can shit itself. So are you scared
of this whole, the news portraying that we're all fucked and it's cost of living crisis?
No, I think it'll help.
Money. I think that will help you get members because everyone's needing to like make more 100%. Money to keep the lights on.
It's just, but then the only thing that could possibly go wrong is the profitability goes down. So, but then another angle to look at it
in terms of like how much money's in the products that people buy to resell.
Yeah, and like how much can people
but
make.
I think, do you know what? If somebody is out there to, I don't know. I mean, I'm a lot older than you, so people will think I've been doing customs university. I'm a lot older than you. So the last recession, I was a bit older than you are now, and that they labelled that the credit crunch. Now it's the cost of living crisis. So they're marketing some bullshit, obviously. But people had money. Like, it was weird. Like, it was like they were saying all this, like, oh, we're all fucked.
Yeah.
But people had money to buy shit.
Yeah.
People were still getting cars on finance. People were still having new stuff. Like, people who are going to buy are going to buy anyway. Yeah, people might have cut back, but then demand was always there for stuff because luxury brands, like, you didn't see Louis Vuitton close down.
No.
Do you know what I mean? You didn't see people say, I'm not wearing Rolexes, and they didn't all fold.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to be a problem. And like, you've got things like you say, TikTok promoting some mad trends, like literally like this fucking pillow could blow up on TikTok and all of a sudden everybody needs one because Kim Kardashian put it down their pants. I don't fucking know.
100%.
Like,
Yeah.
no, but it's crazy shit like that. And next thing you know, it's like, where can I get these? And everybody wants one to do the same bullshit she did.
Yeah.
So we're living in a bit of a weird world where I think, like, demand's never going to drop. I don't think.
Yeah, so I think as long as the profitability holds up, and you know, I think another thing that could possibly happen is like supply chain breakdown. Like that's what happened in COVID, but it's obviously not going to happen as bad as COVID. Like when everyone's like going on furlough, people can't make things, so then the supply can't keep up. Yeah, I suppose it's a similar thing, but like I just think potentially like imagine like let's say 2 air fryer companies go bust.
Yeah.
And then now there's only like one decent company making air fryers. The same amount of people still want air fryers.
Yeah.
So but now they've only got one place to get them from, and you know the demand's just gonna like outweigh the supply more. So then it'll increase the profitability. So I think there's the potential for that to happen. Whether it will, I don't know. But I'm not worried about like the profitability of like it going down in like general, because it should. I've been reselling. I started reselling when I was 16, and there's never been a time since then in the last like 5-6 years where there's not been nothing to resell. There might be like a month where it's a bit dry, but there's always money to be made. But then the next month, like it comes back like better than ever. Like for example, just before air fryers were like popping off again, PS5s were still reselling, but there was no like stonker, like there was no like mega item, and then all of a sudden air fryers just pop out of nowhere and people are just printing cash. Like so I think in the long run, nothing will happen, but you know it does kind of go through that phases where the profitability like dies down, and then it comes back up like mega strong. And
so if I signed up to your thing now, and I'd be able to see what to buy, but tell me where to buy it.
Yeah, so basically how it works is these items are out of stock.
Yeah.
So when the items do come back in stock, it just like sends a notification to your phone
straight away. So you got to buy.
Yeah.
So then am I now in competition with 2,500 people that you've just notified to buy it?
Yep.
So you just got to act fast?
Yeah. So you got to be fast. But like I said yesterday, like things are in stock for 5-10 minutes. Anyone can check out in 5 to 10 minutes, and we obviously like help people become faster. But another thing you've got to think about. This is a question we get asked a lot. How many other people am I competing against? Not everyone is available all at the same time. Everyone's doing stuff in their life. Not everyone's just sat there like looking at the phone waiting for the drop. Everyone's you know, everyone's like.
I bet you've got one person like that though.
Yeah, obviously, like there's people like that. Do you know the worst type of the best type of people?
There's going to be some weird guy called George that wears like a fucking dirty vest, sits there looking at his phone.
Yeah, but
imagine if George is watching now.
But like the best kind of person to do it is someone in an office job that's kind of lenient. Because they're at the computer all day, they can just have the phone literally right there, or like they can have Discord on the computer if that's allowed at the work. And as soon as the restock comes, they're at the computer all day working, and it'll just like pop up, you know, restock. So they're the type of people who can get it, but there's tons of people who can't. Or you might just be like so ingrained in your tasks. Like for example, when I'm working, sometimes I don't see the restocks just because I'm so like zoned in and I'm just like working on something else. And then I look up and there's been like 2 restocks and I'm like, missed them. But so obviously not everyone's available at the same time. So you're never competing against 2,500 people all at once. You know, you're probably competing against like max 1,000, 1,500 people, and then at the other times you might be like competing against like a couple of hundred people.
Have you ever had information leaked
to other people?
Yeah.
Yeah. All the time, mate. This whole community is like. Everyone, like, it is just so leaker friendly. Like, I'm not gonna lie, everyone's in 10 different groups, you know, everyone's like doing all different kinds of things.
WhatsApp group, everyone buy this.
And people can just sign up to CCN on a burner.
Yeah.
And then just reap all the information out of our group, put it into their group.
Oh really? Do you think have you got competitors?
Yeah, there's loads of competitors. There is, and you know, obviously this game we've been in this game for a while, but the thing is, no one's running it really. There's only like one other person I know who's running it like a proper business, and he does really well. And you know, no one else. All the other groups are kind of like just small little groups, and you know.
Do you think they're focused more on making membership money than actually helping people?
The other people. I don't really know. They're just doing it as like kind of like a small business, I assume. Like, you know, they're obviously in there for helping people, and you know, they're just kind of like, they're just smaller groups. They're just like people who probably was in a group and thought, I can do this as well, and just started doing it. And you know, and
so when you started out doing this, was your objective to make money or to show people how to make money?
both,
Be
to
honest.
be honest. No,
Be both,
it was both. Probably more for us to start a business. That's one thing we was always invested in. We was obviously in other groups before we started ours, and that's how I first started reselling. So at the end of the day, it's about running a business. If I didn't want to run a business, then I wouldn't be running a business. Therefore it wouldn't be.
So your model's kind of like. There's a quote that stuck with me forever from a really old guy, he's dead now, called Zig Ziglar. Don't know if you've heard of him.
No, not heard of him.
Very old motivational speaker dude. And he says, help people get what they want and you will get what you want. So technically all you're doing is helping people get what they want and you get what you 100%. Want. You're just taking your little, as one of my friends says, slither to deliver. You're just delivering the information and people are making money, you're making money, it allows you to keep going. 100%. And so what's your goal? How many people do you want on this? Or how many people can you hold on it?
I suppose it depends on the profitability of the items. Like, for example, at the peak, there was 5,500 members. Yeah. But that was when PS5s were absolutely, slapping and there was no way that there was ever going to, the amount of people doing it was ever going to affect it. And so obviously that ties off. So I think the current angle isn't necessarily to get more people. It's more to, offer more service, make our service better. It's not just about getting more people because there's a happy medium. Yeah. The more people we have, the more competition there is. Yeah. And, obviously there's tons of other people doing it and, they all increase the competition. So our main focus isn't get as many people as possible. I think, and the most sustainable, I think for anyone in this industry, the more sustainable thing to do in this situation is not to focus on getting more people, but it's to offer more services that can benefit people. Yeah, of course. And in turn, instead of getting double the amount of people, you just get the same amount of people paying double the price for more services. Yeah. I think that's the way to go, and I think that's the way we want to go.
£30 a month to potentially make, I don't know, realistically what they're going to make, £1,000 extra.
Yeah, 500 quid to £1,000 profit. Yeah,
£30. What? To be fair, I think I spend more than that a month on coffee. Like Starbucks. Starbucks fucking expensive. It's 100%. It's like £4 a pop.
Yeah, it's a spenny.
yeah. So what do you think about all these people selling join my course, I'm going to teach you how to make £500,000 this weekend on dropshipping or Amazon stuff?
I think the people who are saying you're going to make £500,000 this week is total bullshit.
Well, obviously not that, but you get the type where they stand in front of a nice car and they put a lyric from a Drake song, and then post that, and then it's like buy my course,
Yeah, I think them kind of people are just setting themselves up for failure because who actually has a few brain cells thinks I can sign up to this, I can become a millionaire overnight. It's just never, ever, ever, ever happening. How can you possibly... If that was the case, everyone would be millionaires. It's just it's basically common sense. So I don't get what the aim is at all in doing that because clearly... I don't know how people could even possibly fall for the fact that you can make,
Maybe we're doing something wrong and maybe there's more dumb people than clever people, so we just need to market to the dumb people.
Yeah, I do think... you would be surprised of how many people are out there that are are just... Obviously, it's hard to put yourselves in someone else's shoes and see how they see it. But
yeah, I think some people, their situation's that bad, or they desperately want to get that lifestyle that they see somebody on social media have, which might not be real, might be real, I don't know. That they'll buy into a whole get rich quick thing. When you don't really get rich quick. You can get rich quick, but what happens before that?
Yeah.
People don't see that part. They just see the part when you blow up, obviously, because you're blowing up. Did you have a lot of struggles before? What's your what kind of background do you come from? Are you?
I'm just middle class. I'll be honest. My dad owned his own business.
What do you do?
So installing boilers for people and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm very lucky in the sense that I've come from nice family, nice parents, and my dad always kind of told me, he was there's one way to be rich, and it's just to own your own business. That's the only way. Yeah, work hard and own your own business. And I think the work hard part is just a given. I think the ultimate factor to the real money is no, it depends what you want, because obviously some people don't want it, and and I'm very not I don't like saying these kind of things, because at the end of the day I need great people to work for me, and I need them to want to work for me, and then you can't really keep going around saying if you want to be ultra rich, you've got to start your own business, because if you do that,
it's not always the case.
And
not everyone's built that way either.
100%. So I'm very like cautious of saying that, but at the end of the day, if you cut all the bullshit out and you think about it like logically, like physically, that is the way. And if you look at every single other person in this like world who's like actually at the top, it's they own their own businesses, or they own they don't own all of it, but they you have to be like at the top of the ladder. But I understand that's not for everyone, and I understand.
Well, there's a lot that comes with that.
Yeah, 100%.
What do they say? Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Is that a thing? That's the thing.
Yeah, but I know what you
the
mean.
weight on your shoulders. You're the one that has to make sure it works. You're the one with your balls on the chopping board. You're the one that's got to pay the bills. You're the one that's got to find their wages before you can eat.
100%.
I
think that's what people don't see is that the amount of effort and work that goes into running a business. It's like people say like, oh, get rid of your 9-5 and instead just turn it into something where you work like 24 hours a day. You just and obviously not 24 hours, but you literally end up working in the night. You don't really get any time for sleep. You have to make incredible sacrifices. You have to sacrifice social life. You have to sacrifice so many things to become successful. And I suppose that's part of the game, and I suppose that's what deters a lot of people, because the amount of sacrifice you do actually have to make is extraordinary. Like, you've got to work incredibly hard, and like you said, the stress of making it work. If the business doesn't work, one, you're not going to have a business. Two, you employ the most important thing is you've got all these people you've got to feed and provide their wage for, and if your business goes bust, you're all screwed.
You're all fucked. That's why I don't understand when people phone in sick for a headache. It's like, you carry on doing that, and then when the business flops, we're fucked and can have a permanent headache.
Yeah, I know. I totally get it. It's one of them, and I think you've kind of just got to be determined, and you've got to really want it. You've got to if you don't really, really, really want it, then it's probably not for you. You kind of got.
Have you had anyone try and sabotage your shit?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was at school, because obviously before you started business very young.
Yeah.
So so really before business it was kind of school, I guess, or what was it, college? I don't know.
Yeah.
Were you like popular at school, or were you like?
I wouldn't say popular.
Were there people that like you fell out with, or thought you were a dickhead, or?
Ooh, yeah.
Do you think they're probably watching this podcast now thinking, fuck?
I hope not, because they should be doing something better with the time. But I think. Nah, I wouldn't say I was popular. I wouldn't say I was disliked. I was probably just in between. I am actually quite like a quieter person. I am actually just that type of person. And in school and in college, especially when I went to college, I'd say my popularity probably went down more, because basically all of my actual actual close friends, they kind of was all doing labouring and stuff, but I didn't want to do that. I was still kind of tossed up in the air.
Were you labelled like a dreamer, or
but one thing I remember extremely clearly is, even no matter what, when I was in high school, if I would see a Lamborghini go past, I'd be saying to my mates I'm gonna fucking have that one day. I'm gonna have that, and then even after that, I was
And what was their reaction to that?
I don't know. I just think I just think a bit of both. Some people probably thinking that I was a twat. Some people probably thinking that, fair play. One of my friends I know probably pretty much believed me. But, and then it got from the point of that out. And then eventually, I don't know where all this, self-belief just came from. And I think one thing it was is that, I don't know. In some reason in my head, I don't know how this got into my head, but, I remember, did they tell you about, Richard Branson and shit? And he's he starts off with one record store and he becomes a billionaire. And that just kind of I don't know if, I don't know how this got stuck in my head, but that just kind of kept replaying in my head. And I was just thinking, Richard Branson, dyslexic, starts one record store, becomes on to become a billionaire. Why can't I do this?
Are you dyslexic?
Yeah. But, it's one of them. It's kind of I just kept I just kept repeating in my head, and and I think the most important factor to anyone is just self-belief. You can do anything. You just got to be determined. I think that's the most important point. Is if you don't believe, then it's never going to happen. You need to the first thing is believing in yourself, and believing you can do it.
So you went on your own. You said that there's a few partners as well. What was your part in? How many of you are there?
So there's there's 5 of us, but there's 4 of us who actually, 3 of us now who run the business.
What happened to the? Oh, is that
long story? That's
hit by a
long
bus,
story. Yeah. But yeah, and you know what? without the other lads, I would never be where I am today. I would never have made it this far.
So what was your role in it? The coding?
Yeah, so I was just like developer, like coding, like whatever really. And then I obviously became like part of like the social media side, like started doing YouTube and stuff. And yeah, that's basically been my ultimate role for the whole time has been like managing the development of everything and like, you know, coding and whatnot, and, you know, like, you know, having developers working for me who are like coding. But back to the point about my you know, the other business partners, they are like one of the biggest factors to my success ever. So Will is probably the biggest like factor to my success in my whole life. Like country mile, hands down. There's no.
Who's Will? The Amazon.
No, so Will's just another lad. Will lived next door to me, right? And I would never know the other lads if I'd never lived next door to Will. So it's like very by chance kind of situation. But Will basically got me into reselling. So he helped me at the start, and he was, you know, and he was always like very believed in me, and, you know, he's extremely positive like about everything, like and I think that's.
Is he your age?
No, he's 2 years older than me.
Okay.
So he's extremely positive about everything. He's never once really kind of. I don't think he's never once not believed in anything like that we were gonna do or like whatever. And basically, yeah. So he got me into reselling. You know, I was always going around his and whatnot, and he invited me to work on his first business with him in like coding. He was like, do you want to like make some monitors for me and I'll give you like 30% of my business? And I was like, yeah, damn right, sick, I'll do this. And then
Did you make money?
Yeah, so we made money, but before this, I didn't. So like I said before, I always believed in myself, but my motivation is a different story. So basically, I was working for him and we was making monitors and blah blah blah, and then eventually we kind of. So we had like an original CCN with like 30 people in there, just paying like £30 a month, or it might have been £15 a month back then. And, you know, we basically was like doing monitors and stuff, and then we started getting approached by people to sell our monitors to them. So not instead of like selling direct to the consumer, it's like B2B kind of thing. So we kind of like started doing this B2B thing, and we started making money. And then my motivation just kind of fell off, and then I just wasn't really doing anything. But there was like, so the way the monitors worked was like, I basically just made like a template to like, which could like monitor pretty much, back then it could monitor pretty much every site. Will just needed to know how to like fill out the template and like run it, and then it would work. So basically I made this like file that kind of was like a template. Will just like would go in, look at the website, fill out the template according to the website. Yeah. And then he could basically monitor all these sites. And, you know, I just basically made this file and then just fucked off, just hanging out with like my friends who I like went to school with, just doing fuck all really. Will was just like carrying me like heavily, which, you know, I'm incredibly appreciative of.
Why do you think that happened?
For me,
do you know now why that happened?
I don't know really. I think I was just like, I don't know if I was too young, because at the time I'd have probably been 16 still, and I was still.
It's understandable. Yeah.
So I think that was
only just stopped wetting the bed. And,
literally, like literal child. So yeah, I think that was kind of like the main thing. Probably was.
Fair play though. At 16, most 16-year-olds now, they get shouted at to tidy their bedrooms, and
that's
still
the
like.
Type of person I still was though.
Oh really? So and you was doing this?
Yeah, so I was like fucking refusing to empty the dishwasher, like being a little menace, bro, being a twat, like.
People have got dishwashers in Manchester.
Yeah, surprisingly. but yeah, so that's kind of like that. Yeah, so that was and I definitely think that was like a massive thing that played a part of it. And then fast forward, I was sat in a restaurant with Will one time, and the business was still running, but it wasn't like thriving. It was doing like. It was staying alive. Like,
listen, a business that's making money and turning a profit, it's good.
Yeah.
A lot of people have got this notion that you've got to be, if you haven't got a Lambo, a fit PA, or I shouldn't really say it, fuck it, I'll say a fit PA, and like swanky offices, that your business isn't doing good. And that's wrong. A business that's making money is good, because at least you can grow.
Yeah.
So obviously, doing all right.
Yeah, so it was kind of like doing like, I wouldn't even say all right really. It was kind of just fucking teeter-tottering. Like it was surviving.
What kind of money was it making?
At this exact point, I can't actually remember how much it was making. It might have been making like £1,000, £2,000 per month, like nothing at all.
Yeah, but you're 16. This kid's 18. That's good.
Yeah, it was decent. And I think I was getting paid like £300 a month-ish maybe.
Yeah.
And anyway, I said to Will one time, I was like, I don't know if this kind of like business life's for me.
Yeah.
And I remember this moment clear as day. Will looked at me and he's like, shut the fuck up, lad. Are you broken? Like, what's like wrong with you? Are you joking? We've got this business. Don't worry, it's going to be all fine. And then I was like, I don't know, like, whatever.
What did your parents think at this point? Or did they think that you two were just like a bit weird?
They were just fine. I thought I was doing okay. They didn't really like, because at this time it wasn't like booming, so they weren't like astounded, but they just kind of thought like, oh, this is like kind of pretty mad. I would always speak to my dad about it, yeah. And at this time, my mum and dad was going for like a breakup as well, so I think that kind of probably factored into kind of things as well. And you know, it wasn't like I wouldn't really have like, there was a lot of things going on, and then. Blah, blah, blah. Will basically says this to me, and I just carried on still basically doing nothing. I'd do like the odd thing. And then basically the thing that turned it all around for me, and I actually told this story to Latino on that yesterday, basically the thing that turned it all around for me was, so the business started doing better, and we was making like 5k a month, and I was getting like, I was getting paid like $1,000, $2,000 a month, and I was in college, and I was like, yes, sick, I'm gonna have an S3 in no time, I'm gonna be showing everyone at the college up, being like a little twat, like in my own head.
Yeah, I know a few people like that.
So like whatever, and then yeah, it was coming to like the end of the year, and like I was fucking off college and shit, just like making up excuses. Sometimes I will be working on the business, sometimes I've been making up excuses that I was working on the business, it's like my teachers and shit, and I just wouldn't go in. And then basically, at the end of the year, my friend Will and a couple of the other lads, they went to like Monaco F1, like drove down there. And I was like, I just turned 18. So it was like May time, I just turned 18. And then basically, they gone there, and I was thinking in my head, I was like, oh, kind of fancy that. Kind of fancy going there, like on a little holiday and whatnot. And I didn't really want to, and I wasn't really set on going. And then I was walking home one time from like being out with my friends, with my friend Ben. And I remember telling my friend Ben about it. And he was like, what are you doing? What if I had the opportunity, I'd be there right now. Yeah, I'd be there right now. What are you doing? Do it. And I was like, okay. And then the next day, I just fucked off college. I just got on a flight the next morning, flew out there, met the lads there. And then, basically, and then I was just like chilling, and then we went to like, it was like the qualifying, so we went to like the qualifying in like Monaco, and there's like F1 cars flying around, all these people wearing like Richard Milles Protects, and obviously at the time I didn't really know what the kind of was going on, and I've seen all these mad cars, and I've seen this lifestyle, and I was just like, and it kind of started like blowing me away a bit, and then I remember like, we went out that night and went to this club called Twiga, and there was like, and we nearly didn't get into the club as well. Like they didn't want to let us in, but we was crying about them refunding us in euros instead of pounds. So they let us in, and then we like go into this club, and then we go into the club and we just like stood there. We get a drink at the bar and whatnot, and then I just like walk over to like where we was like stood, and then Mbappe and Verratti is stood like right next to me. And I'm just thinking like, what's going on? Like,
they're footballers,
yeah. Mbappe's big, so I was just like, what is going on here? Like, I was like blown away at this point. I was like, I'm here, 18, you know, I've already got this opportunity to be stood right here, like among these people. Like, what's going on? And then it just kind of like took me away. I had like a sick night, and I remember like before we even got into the club and stuff, there was like people flying around with like Rolls Royces with the roof down, just like chilling. And I was just like seeing all these sick cars, and like I was just like, this is for me. Like, and then that kind of.
So you had a taste of it.
Yeah, I had a taste of it, and I just couldn't believe it. And I was just like, well, I've been there once, you know, this is for me. That kind of set everything in stone, and I was just like. When I got back, I just started like working like harder and just started like actually doing things, and then that was like the turning point in my life. Like before that, I was still unsettled on what I wanted to do, and I went there, seeing how these like people were like living, and you know, and it was just the things that I saw there. I was just like, this is like, you know, how I want to live, and then that kind of turned it all around for me. And then
did that keep you motivated to just keep going and keep going?
Yeah, keep going, and then.
Do you think you failed more times than you've won?
Yeah, I've had probably like, I don't know, maybe now, yeah, it depends what your class is failing. They fail things all the time, you know, like if things go wrong all the time, you know, you don't win everything, like, And they're part of like the whole journey of like learning. It's like what I said about like the £1 sign-ups, terrible idea, but at the end of the day, if I hadn't have done that, I could potentially do it again in the future and do it even worse.
Do it better, yeah.
Yeah, or like and so now I've learned from that mistake, and I've made tons of mistakes over the years.
Fail worse or do it better.
Yeah,
yeah.
Literally, so I think, I've had tons of business that failed. So like the first like version of CCN failed. The monitor business failed. The second version of CCN failed. And then I started a raffle bot after that, which is like a sneaker bot, and that was like my first big success, like decent success. Like
what's that?
So like basically just like if like the way you get sneakers to resell is like you enter raffles. So you basically I made like this like computer program that would like enter the raffles for you like thousands of times, and then you would basically win loads of shoes and make loads of money for like, and people would pay me for the software. So then did that and made like a few £100,000 off that, and that was like my first like big success. And I actually like managed to buy like an S3 off that, and that was like my first.
Is that your car out there now as well?
No, that's a show car. That's like a show car between three of my other business partners because we all live together.
Still money, yeah.
Yeah, it's still decent. So yeah, did that. The raffle bot was like a big taste of success, but that eventually failed.
Yeah.
And then I just was like working on CCN, and then CCN's still going. So CCN's been it's been a workhorse. It's been a long laster. It's a good model, and I don't really see it going anywhere, to be honest, unless something detrimental happens. But
do you think that's you then, like moving forward, or
CCN?
Yeah.
Nah, not really. I think I'm going to continue to run it because it's a business that I enjoy, and I like coding.
Are you like looking for the next thing?
Yeah, I'm 100% looking for. I'm always looking for the next thing. I think it's just like a stepping stone game, innit? It's just like I want to step on like bigger stones and just like step into bigger roles with like more people working for me, making like better things. Like we made like an app on CCN in the last year, like fully in-house developed. So like that's been like a massive learning curve for me. That's been like one of the things that I've enjoyed most, is because now like I know exactly how to make an app, like a functioning good app. Like I've done every single bit start to finish, like with the team. I understand exactly how it works. So I think that's like a massive skill that I've acquired, and I want to go on to like do more things like that, making more like apps and stuff like that, and making more like software and whatever it be, and obviously just branching out to bigger businesses. I want more people working for me. I want to be working on bigger things. I want to be working on things that are like. At the end of the day, I want to be working on things that are like for the greater good in the long term. Like I'm not really interested in like just making loads of money. I want to work on things that are going to like change the world, and that's like my ultimate like drive, and that's what I want to do like long term. But it's almost like a stepping stone to get into that point of like having enough money myself, and like enough like money to invest into starting a new business, or enough money to pay all the staff to make something possible.
Yeah. That's inspirational shit. And what kind of advice would you give somebody young, just starting out, that probably watches these YouTube videos of these other kids that are driving around in Lambos, expensive watches, saying, "Oh, I'm a dropshipper" or whatever, and they want that life? Like, what advice would you give them? Where do you start, and how long do you think it would take? And realistically, how long you got to go at it?
I think the most important thing is believe in yourself and chase your dreams. Like, don't be scared of like going out there and chasing your dreams. I recommend that everybody goes out there and chase your dreams. Otherwise, life's not even worth living.
Give it a go. Yeah.
Just give it a blast. And then for the second part about like where to start, I think the best place to start is with like a side hustle. Like just like exactly how I started. I just started reselling, and then getting into a market. You need to first get into a market.
On your app where it notifies people what to go buy.
Yeah.
And then sell it and whatnot. Does it teach them how to do that part?
Yeah, so there's like guides and then on the Discord side, because the app's still being built to this day. So we're building it out even more. But on the Discord, there's like full guides on there and stuff like that as well, like how to do everything, how to make the most money, how to do everything. But I think starting a side hustle is one of the most important first like points, because it shows that you can make money yourself. It allows you to believe in yourself. It allows you to get them early wins, and I think getting early wins is one of the most important factors to anyone who wants to like continue to go
whether you make
business.
£10 or £20.
You just need to make some wins soon. Like the quicker you make your first win, the more motivated you're going to be. Like let's say I start, because dropshipping is quite hard. So like if you've never done dropshipping before, you might be like a month or 2 months before you make your first sale. So for you to keep motivated after the first month to make your first sale is hard. So getting into like a side hustle where you can make wins easily I think that's very important. And then getting into that market of like, just getting into some kind of market where you can seize opportunity. Like you might start reselling, or you might start Amazon FBA, and you might start drop shipping or whatever. And
well, your thing you can make with no money, because, well, unless your credit's completely shot, you can go get a credit card with 0% for 60 days or whatever.
So, we can't recommend anyone to do this, and I don't recommend that anyone does this, but I use a credit card to buy everything.
Well, that's a sensible thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just, it's a sensible thing to do, but obviously, you know, we can't go out saying people go get a credit card and, you know, start buying products.
Go get a credit card.
Don't get a credit card, but I think starting a side hustle, so you're getting early wins, so you're understanding, you believe in yourself, and then, you know, how long is it going to take you to get a Lambo? I don't have a Lambo yet, and I've been doing this since I was 16.
That's what I mean. It's not an overnight thing. You've got to graft and graft and graft.
It's been like 5 years, and I've still not got a Lambo.
And have you had to keep putting money back into the business?
Yeah, I'm putting money back in, you know, investing money from other businesses into other businesses. I've done some stupid stuff. I even once, like, paid this, like, app company, like, to make a Supreme bot for your phone, 70 grand. They couldn't do it. So I just lost 70 grand.
No way.
It's fucked, mate. So, like, it's just like...
So people might be watching that and it would send them absolutely crazy.
That's what I mean.
These are the things that people don't see that happen.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, we've had like shit break and fall apart, and we're here until 3-4 in the morning, because if you don't, there's no one else to do it.
100%.
And then back in at 7, and then, you know, you film me. People don't realise that it's not easy, but then it's not actually that hard. It's just a little bit of pain, like... Fuck it! What do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not permanent, is it?
No, it's a temporary thing. You know, one thing I think about life is it's like ups and downs. Yeah. You know, some months everything's absolutely chilling, everything's going sweet. There's no real. Obviously, there's always problems all the time, but like, there's nothing that's like a terrible problem. So it's good, but then the next month it might be like. Terrible problem after terrible problem after terrible problem. You're like, oh, this sucks. Like, and sometimes you will want to give up, but like, I seen another quote online the other day, and it's like, some days are meant to be bad days. Some days are meant to be days that are like totally shit, and there's nothing you can do about it. So for them days, you just gotta go, right, fuck this. It's just tomorrow. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna wake up again tomorrow, and we're gonna go at it again. And some days are just bad days, and you can't have great days every day. Some days are gonna be bad. So I think, you know, you just gotta be prepared to make sacrifice, put an incredible effort, and, you know, rip a lot of your hair out every now and again.
Yeah.
That's like my ultimate advice, I suppose.
Wicked. Well, hopefully people have been inspired from watching this today. All your socials we'll put in the description so they can follow you, watch your stuff. We'll probably try and get him to do a little course on Levolution if you're an Academy member watching as well.
Yep.
Just explaining how to make money using the CrepCheifNotify app. I think it's brilliant. I'm going to give it a try myself.
100%. Yeah.
Again, if you don't try it, how do you know it works? And from what you're saying, it sounds like it works. And who's going to say no to money? Like, what the hell? I'm going to buy all the PS5s.
Yeah.
I'm going to pre-order the PS6s as well. But listen, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it.